Testing, okay. Anyway, on behalf of the Springfield Lions Club and all the things that you do for our community, the wonderful things to help people that in need, we'd like to present your organization with this check for $500. Thank you.
I don't think you can videotape, but you might want to do it again.
Oh,
Yeah.
how come you're doing that?
Do it again. Pretend.
Oh, I have to hand it to you.
I'll hold the mic. Yes, congratulations.
All right, thank you, Jerry, we really appreciate your services here. And you want to, everybody else can sit down or, well, I'll tell you what, why don't you just,
And I thank you for that. It was like happenstance when I spoke to Henry, and he said, well, go ahead and submit something. So I did, on behalf of our G Street Oasis program. I know I've spoken to you before about CCS in general, but our G Street Oasis program is a day shelter for families with children who are without a home, who are transitioning hopefully back into some sort of a home. And we have two tiny houses and two Conestoga huts that families can be there temporarily. And there's one over at St. Alice Church now. So there's 5 altogether that the G Street Oasis program can refer people to. And then they can also get wraparound services at our organization. And but the facility, the G Street Oasis facility, is provided by the First Baptist Church, which is next door to our building. And it's just a beautiful cooperative arrangement. Families can come there, they can get vouchers to go up the block to the Willamette Lane Pool, get showers. They can go across the street to the public school and get McKinney-Vento services for their children. They can come over to our building, do their laundry, and at the First Baptist Church, they can spend some time in there staying warm and cook a meal and get some food and some hygiene products, which are always in need. So it's really a beautiful little cooperative, and someday I hope we're going to find a way to incorporate medical care into that cooperative arrangement. But that's what this check is going to go to help. Right now she has just stuff out in the open, and we hope to get some storage cabinets and maybe a little bit better furniture in that room for the folks. So when they come in, it doesn't, sometimes you go to a place, if you're poor, and you go to a place and it looks like you're poor, and your shoulders don't come up. So I'm always a believer that we want to raise it up a little bit so that when you come there, you feel a little sense of dignity and more, you feel the care, obviously, but your shoulders come up a little bit. So that's what this is going to go for, to brighten up the space. So thank you so very much. Oh, question, yeah.
So, well, all months are busy. But this time of year, lots of us go through our stuff and say, we have a house for it.
Yes.
So for that particular room, if you have specific needs like chairs, library, books, games, things like that, there was a way to get that list out to us. Then the $500 would go much farther.
Yeah, well, I will ask our new director. In fact, I should say something about our new director. She came to us as a person trying to work out of addiction, and she got our services, was convinced that she had the brains to go to college, went to Lane, got her associate's degree in nonprofit, did her internship at Catholic Community Services, was hired on as a case manager at Catholic Community Services, and now she's directing the G Street Oasis program. Fantastic young woman. So, I'll see what I can do. I think I have your email address, Henry,
yes,
and maybe I can send that on to Henry. And by the way, we're in the middle of our winter clothing drive. If you have coats or any type of winter clothing that you'd like to drop off, we'd be sure happy to have that. Thank you so much.
thank you very much. Okay,
I think she was a wonderful, wonderful lady that sent her kids over to my house occasionally when they were bothering her to pick up my leaf. And not only that, She had the best father-in-law and mother-in-law that anybody could ever want. Bill Fitch had an insurance company here for many, many years, and Mike, I hate to say this, but Mike was a championship golfer at Oregon State. But this is Tammy Fitch.
Tammy was a staff member at Thurston High School, raised our quality up, way up, and it's been followed ever since. She's a great teacher, she's a great community worker, and it's been an excellent program for the city of Springfield. I'm actually more verbal than I am.
Oh, this is awesome.
Actually,
You like this? And it would be my pleasure to present this check for $500 to Tammy.
Thank you very much.
let's take a couple more pictures. Pictures more.
Okay. Thank you.
Hey, look out.
Thank you. Wow, this is just amazing. Thank you very, very much. It's very much appreciated. And before I forget, Jerry, if you have any kids living over in those small units that are under the age of 5 and under, please sign them up for Springfield Young Readers. As long as there's an address we can mail it to, maybe through the G Street Oasis, we can get those kids a book a month from the Imagination Library, okay? That's key. We don't want to miss anybody. So I came a year ago, January 30th, we kicked off the Imagination Library project in Springfield. So 10 months ago, we started this. As of this morning, we have 1,041 kids registered receiving a book a month in Springfield. That's where we thought we would be at the beginning of the 3rd year of the program. Okay? So is it needed? Yes. Are you guys blessed for doing this? Because 20 kids will now get their book a month for the next year because of your check. Oh, well, we keep doing this forever, but basically for each child to get a book a month mailed from Dolly's Foundation, it's $25 a year, covers the cost of one child. So that's about $2.10 a month for the book and postage. When we looked up these books, if you were to go into, say, a Barnes & Noble, you could maybe buy 2 books of this caliber. So it's fantastic. And the reception by the community, by the Springfield Library, by the school district, where, yes, they're looking at least 70% free and reduced lunch across the school district. There are so many kids coming into our schools now that are not kindergarten ready, that won't be reading at grade level by 3rd grade. So anything we can do, this isn't the end-all serve-all, but it's the way to start the process. And the comments we've been getting back from parents is thank you. I no longer have to choose between food and rent and medicine. I can give my child that book every month. I can read to them, and they love it. What we find is they want to read it, of course, over every night. They want to look at the pictures. They want to tell their other brothers and sisters the story that they learned from the pictures. And as one of the superintendents told me, hey, If a kid comes into kindergarten and knows that a book starts at the beginning and goes through to the end, that it's the top of the page to the bottom of the page, left to right, and that the pictures are associated with the letters, that is a fantastic start. So all of those things go into the process. Our board, which is totally volunteered, we take nothing. As a matter of fact, I have some wonderful people that somehow when we needed a P.O. box, the money appeared for it. When we had to do mailing, someone showed up with stamps for it. Those kind of things just occur because your donation, other people's donation, we want to make sure that goes to the children, to the books, to get them out. If any of you saw the Dolly Parton recent shows, at 73, I can only hope to have that woman's stamina and her vision. Her latest dream, she's at it in another country, so they're now in 5 countries doing this program. She would like it to be someday worldwide. Now, that could be a challenge with all the different languages, etc. But the idea of having books in every home, in every country, that would relate to the kids is a dream that would be wonderful, because with literacy, I kind of believe that there's a connection to the knowledge and the idea of peace being a possibility in the world. That with literacy, with education, you find ways to solve problems. So that's the hope. And after 10 months, I can say we're going strong. 2020, we're setting our plans. This Thursday, we have another board meeting to figure out, okay, we are so far ahead of pace signing up kids. What magic are we going to come up with to help keep funding this forever and ever? So those are some of the wonderful challenges you have, but thank you very much, Lions.
Map in the city in terms of distribution, where the majority of
Oh, good question. Okay, how they sign up. One, they can go on the internet to springfieldyoungreaders.org, or 2, the library is very wonderful, and they have also been signing up people there for us.
what about, and the school district does too?
The school district has 2 board members. Todd Hamilton is superintendent, and Jenna McCauley is on our board. So they've been helping with a lot of our publicity. Just recently, within this last 6 months, United Way has approved covering rural Lane County. That was something I hope would happen within 5 years. With Noreen there, it moved it up because she's seen this in action. So she got her board to commit. So we now have Lane County covered. Now, none of us have a budget yet for 100% coverage. So what we're now doing is meeting as an area and deciding how to do some things. And one of Noreen's dreams is to do a grant that would cover the entire county and help. So we're looking at possible grants that we could apply for.
Like the Cow Creek,
We actually received that one. So we're,
theirs is for long term.
actually theirs is year to year, but we did go through the whole process, and they were wonderful and gracious, and did a check for us. And we've got 2 grant writers on our board that are volunteers that have been applying for a lot of them. And I go out and talk to a lot of book clubs because grandparents are like a natural. We never, ever, ever ask the child or the child's family for any donations. It's not allowed whatsoever. So we never want a family to feel like they have to even give us a nickel, because they don't. These are a free book mailed to the child at their address. So that's the fun part about this. We're looking at now going into the hospitals with the new baby packet with a registration form so that we can get them started and give them the little engine that could. Previously, Eugene didn't want to do that because they didn't want to tell a parent, oh, you live in Springfield or you live in rural Lane County and you can't do it. So we're now looking at ways to make all that happen. Any other questions? Thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much, Tammy. We have one more, but they did not show up. That would be Pasha's Hopeful Shops or Steps. But we'll make that a little later. All right. We need, or do we need any screeners tomorrow?
Somebody move the microphone stand.
So quiet. Make some jokes.
One more.
One more. Jan?
Okay.
Henry?
Okay,
I got it.
okay, you got it.
Is this on? On behalf of the Springfield Lions Club, we'd like to present Burrito Brigade with this check for $500 for all the great work that you do in our community.
Thank you. Do I say what the, okay.
About 10 minutes.
Thank you for having me and having me present. The money we asked for was to supply more lumber to make more little free pantries. We have 10 in town now, and Willamette High School's senior design class has agreed to make 5 more. So that's what part of this money will go towards. We are having a huge success with supplying them, and people seem to be, the goal is that it's a supplement, like it's, canned food and boxes of stuff and loaves of bread so that families can supplement till the end of the month. And they've been really successful. We have 10, and now with this we can make even more, and your support is great. We've been doing, February will be 6 years of making burritos, and now we're just doing more because there's a huge hunger need in this community, and so we're doing what we can. So thank you so much for this.
And where do you make them?
So we rent, on Sundays we rent First Christian's basement kitchen, and then on Saturdays we use Bethesda Lutheran on Royal. We don't have our own space, but churches have been really awesome with, being able to use a commercial kitchen for a very, very small fee. So yeah, and then the pantry, so far we have 3 in Springfield. So if you guys are ever,
Where are they?
so there's one on 49th and B, there's one on 9th and between C and D, and then there is one on 26th. So if you're, any of those are in your neighborhood and you want to just drive by and check them, you had a question?
We have somebody else here that weren't here when you spoke, so you might just describe.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
So Burrito Brigade is a nonprofit organization that we make 800 burritos every weekend to pass out to the hungry. Doesn't matter who you are or what your status is. We, in April, launched Little Free Pantries. So it's the concept of the Little Free Libraries, but they're boxes that are sealed and have a lock, and they have supplemental items like mac and cheese and loaves of bread. And we had fruit donated. Another volunteer had an idea that next summer hanging shower baskets on the edges so people can put zucchini and cucumbers and stuff that your garden is oversupplying. So right now, so we have 10. If you follow our Facebook, you can see all of the locations if you'd like to, oh, I want to adopt this pantry and I want to just drive by on my way to work or on my way to the grocery store. But like I said, so our Springfield ones are 49th and B, right on, pretty close to 26th and C. They're bright blue, they're hard to miss. And then 9th between C and D. And he's had really a lot of success because I guess that elementary school is 100% free lunch. So the one on 9th is been like empty almost every other day, he said, so.
So the little libraries usually are, or in somebody's garden, close in the public right away, so there's somebody that takes care of it.
Yeah, so, yeah,
So
they're.
how does it go with that?
So they're households that have agreed, that own the property, and what we did was made them, they're on 2x4, so they're freestanding versus the little free libraries, you have to like dig concrete and all that. We wanted them like, if we had any issues with the city or anything, that we were able to remove them. They've been super successful. We haven't had a lot of, a couple of complaints. We have one in South Eugene that the neighbor keeps complaining that it's in his ice, because he can't turn the corner. And we're like, so the owner just keeps moving it back and back in her yard. But they seem to be super successful, and they're emptied, and like, the homeowners will like, text me and say, hey, I'm empty, and then I'll just do a call out on Facebook, like, hey, are you in the neighborhood? Can you pick up a couple of cans of soup while you're at the grocery store, a couple boxes of mac and cheese? But my, hope with my project was to, supplement, not like give, a ton of groceries for a family, but like supplement, like they can grab a loaf of bread, a bag of potatoes, a bag of fruit, and so. Any other? Sorry, I forgot that.
I just think we really need, being involved with children over the last 20 years and seeing what often is given as a gift, a lot of it wouldn't really fall under the nutritional guidelines.
Yes, and
So we need to make a concerted effort to actually read the labels of what we put in there and choose things to give that are really beneficial and
yeah, that's why I try to focus on bread, potatoes, like things that can be, apples and pears in the summer has been great. People have been, we had a woman that was like, I think it was like almost half a dozen cucumbers a day she put in the pantry by her house, because people get produce that's just overabundance, and imagine being able to like leave it, a handful of apples, a handful of pears, a bag of potatoes, instead of the processed food. Is my goal, at least.
I
Yeah.
just wondered how many volunteers you have making burritos.
So Saturday we make 350 burritos, and it takes about 10 to 15 volunteers. Sunday makes 450 burritos, and so it takes about 15 to 20. I actually had, a week ago, I had 42 people show up, and I made sure every single person had a job. So I had a whole fraternity show up, and then like 10 South Eugene Honor Society. The teacher had sent 5, but they each brought a friend. So I have yet to send a volunteer away. It was really great. Like 6 of these girls just decided to write happy messages on the foil because there was nothing left to do. So it was like, have a great day, you're loved, you're important, and imagine like getting a hot burrito and reading, you're important, so, and so it was really great. And so so thank you for your support, and we definitely could not do it without the community. So.